Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and this is a breakdown of a new trailer for Loki Season 2 coming October 6th with some intriguing editing and cryptic new shots, like one that definitely shows Victor Timely inside of the TVA. Let's break down this promo frame by frame for the details you missed, and we have been rewatching Loki Season 1 with episode by episode re-breakdowns. We found a surprising number of new details that we somehow overlooked before, so check out our episode 1 rewatch, and we're going to be doing the rest of them this month on the main New Rockstars channel. All right, here we go.
What I'm about to tell you is going to be hard to believe again. I've been pulled through time between the past and the present.
All right, we begin with Loki in close-up looking out at something really bright, tears filling his eyes. Now, this is the same light in the background as the shots of Loki watching Mobius making his way out toward the temporal core. This was a new term that we got from the official TVA prop posters, and one detailing the radiation suit that Mobius wears in this moment, warning that it gives 15 minutes of exposure to the temporal radiation from the temporal core. So, this glowing braid that Mobius trudges out toward, also seen in the first trailer, is the temporal core of the TVA, meaning that we can now see the TVA as a kind of power plant, but rather than nuclear energy, it generates temporal energy by pruning timelines, converting all of the life force from everything in that timeline into this time energy. And Sylvie rupturing the sacred timeline has overloaded the system. What should have been one timeline feeding through this generator has now become something more of a chaotic sausage maker. So they're sending Mobius out to patch it, and based on Loki's expression, he's worried, and I'm worried, that Mobius might not survive this. And by the way, this machinery that braids the time stream looks like a large version of the segmented pieces of Victor Timely's temporal marvel at the World's Fair. That the reason they have to go back to him at 1893 is to look for the original TVA blueprints of how this temporal core works. And that what Victor Timely was explaining to these Victorian Chicagoans is that rather than trusting Mr. Edison or Mr. Tesla with their electricity, or someday in the future Mr. Oppenheimer with his nuclear energy, there is a much cleaner and safer, but actually not that much safer, form of energy called temporal radiation. Now, the music and sound editing throughout this promo is just incredible. Like, we hear these clicks like a dial being ratcheted into place, and these female vocalizations that kind of sound like they're laughing at us.
It's going to be hard to believe.
And then a straight up scream on the Marvel logo. Next, we see a few shots from the last trailer, like Loki time slipping in the TVA Time Theater number 5, and then to the parking lot of this Piranha Powered Sports, where you can see Mobius in the background selling jet skis, explaining why our man is so obsessed with jet skis. And we actually got some rumors that this moment could be set in Cleveland, Ohio, 1 year before the Battle of Earth, so that would make this October 2022. And then Loki and Mobius in the Columbian Exposition at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, where they will find Victor Timely from that Quantumania post-credit scene, and a giant Ms. Minutes. Then we get the shot of the actor Brad Wolf at the premiere of the movie Zaniac, adapting the 1982 Thor number 319, in which Zaniac is a swarm of demonic parasitic creatures from the dark dimension taking over an actor named Brad Wolf, making him have a bloodlust for women. But it seems like here they're making it an in-universe film. We know from the McDonald's promos that Brad Wolf will be someone they detain as a variant. And in the first trailer, there's a quick shot of him crammed into a time cube. By the way, that shot at the McDonald's will be set in Brooklyn of 1982, and it's going to be where Sylvie goes right after stabbing He Who Remains. The music apparently in this moment is going to be Moon River, which definitely check out the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's, but just understand that it has some complicated humor when it comes to racist depiction of Mr. Yunioshi. But the movie as a whole is pretty good, and a song of Moon River is the song of this woman who's on the run, and it's the music that plays over the closing credits where her lover runs back to her. So it's kind of this nice, sweet reunion moment of a woman who's always on the go, reinventing herself. All right, let's move on to the next section.
In the future,
everything is turning to
that's right.
Okay, Hunter B-15 tries to use her tempad, but Ms. Minutes appears on the screen with an ah and an access denied. The a little nod to Dennis Nedry in Jurassic Park.
You didn't say the magic word.
Please! God damn it!
Ms. Minutes was inspired by a different part of Jurassic Park, Mr. DNA, along with Felix the Cat, Betty Boop, and propaganda films like A is for Adam and Destination Earth. I went into this in a video where I think I did figure out what Ms. Minutes is exactly. Remember, Ms. Minutes has access to the TVA archives that even Renslayer did not have. And I think it's because she is kind of an AI download of He Remains' mind and memories and other past TVA employees' souls when their pruned timelines are converted into temporal radiation. She's kind of sentient temporal radiation. As Mobius walks out in this radiation radiation suit toward the core, you can see parts of that suit dissipating from the radiation. But to OB's credit, that duct tape that he taped onto the helmet to cover the crack, it's still intact. You can always trust duct tape. Now, longtime New Rockstars viewers know how much we use Geologie and how long we've been using it for, but if this is your first time hearing about Geologie, get ready for blockbuster quality skincare on a student film budget. Geologie is a 23-time award-winning skin, hair, and body care company recognized in Men's Health, Oprah Daily, Hypebeast, Birdie, Esquire, and GQ. Geologie's products are just a handful of powerful, proven ingredients that have been trusted by dermatologists for decades. Geologie can help you fight acne, reduce oiliness, prevent wrinkles, combat dark or puffy under eyes, have smoother, hydrated skin, and target signs of aging. Everything you need to keep your skin healthy, no matter how much you soak in the pool this summer. Don't know where to start? Geologie can create a simple and effective skincare or hair care routine for you. All you gotta do is take a quick 30-second quiz. Right now, if you use the code NewRockstars100, Geologie will give you 100% off their award-winning skincare trial set. You'll also get an additional bonus offer of up to 30% off one skin, hair, or body products when you add it to your trial. It's truly a wild offer, one of the best they've ever given our audience. So click the link in the description or go to geolog.ie/rockstars100 to get started. So Mobius takes Loki into the same golden elevator that they rode in together in season 1. He hits the bottom right button of the SK7. I explained in another video what time slipping is and how it is different from glitching in the animated Spider-Verse movies. Basically, I think slipping is moving forward or backward within a single timeline. Glitching is where you hop laterally across different universes. Kiwi Kwan plays OB, aka Ouroboros, who's a TVA agent in charge of the technology. Beside him is Eugene Cordero returning as Casey. He still has that ink stain from the leaky pen in his front shirt pocket. Behind Mobius in this location is a poster about pneumatic tube etiquette. We actually have a clear visual of this from the art that was released. It lists forbidden usage and punishable usage, and under punishable it lists live or dead vermin and flammable materials, which means that both of these things must have been done before for there to be a rule about it. But the most interesting shot of this promo, someone moves a figurine in a radiation suit down a miniature of the temporal core walkway, and at the far end of this set is Victor Timely. This is the first time we've seen a Kang variant in the halls of the TVA. I think they feel okay doing this, bringing him here, because 1893 Victor Timely is the one who built the TVA, and this would be eons before he ages into He Who Remains. I think they're the same person, and it's just that Victor Timely would better know the technical schematics of the TVA architecture the best. For what it's worth, Architect was the season 2 production title when they were shooting it in the UK. This whole moment reminds me of Back to the Future when Doc Brown creates a miniature model of the Hill Valley Town Square so that they can walk through their mission. Kind of seems like they're doing that here. So Renslayer here in this location is going by her other name, Rebecca Torbonnet, I assume. This is in Victor Timely's lab, and she's firing up what I assume is an early model pruning stick. On the wall behind her is a bunch of clocks, which also reminds me of Doc Brown. Remember, he had a ton of clocks all over his workshop. Okay, on to the last section.
Don't overthink it.
Around, around, and around we go.
All right. Again.
Okay, so Mobius, Sylvie, and Loki are in this shipyard location. This is actually the historic Chatham Dockyards in Kent, established in the 16th century following the Reformation. It has since built over 500 ships for the Royal Navy until it was closed in 1984. It was a location shown at various points in Netflix's The Crown. In the interior of the shipyard, it just looks very, very cool. So why are they here? Well, the sign to the left of them reads Deliu and Sonar, and then Batbidgery. I pointed out before that Deliu is a nod to Dan Deliu, Marvel's longtime VFX supervisor and second unit director, who is directing an episode of this season of Loki. But Vagland Batbidgery, I know I'm butchering the pronunciation of it, but this is a shipyard in Norway. So maybe their mission here is to disrupt or to acquire one of those New Asgard boats that was pulled by the goats, like the Aegir vessel. Over this, we hear Victor Timely's voice saying, round and round and round we go. And it syncs with this overhead shot rotating on Sylvie watching her TV and listening to a vinyl record as that TV splits into strands. Now, Victor Timely's voice could be referring to that 1893 Ferris wheel that was the first Ferris wheel ever, and it might be using it in the scene that he is in as a metaphor for how they are on a sacred timeline loop and how time itself is circular, where it goes round and round but never really changes location. Then we see Victor Timely inspecting some piece of technology. I think this might be a keystone piece of that temporal marvel display from the expo, maybe his kind of flux capacitor of his time manipulation technology. And then a quick shot of Loki himself, it looks like walking out on that temporal catwalk with no radiation suit, maybe headed out to save Mobius and to take his place in whatever this mission is. Now, since this whole trailer is kind of a circular loop, it ends with the same again line as it begins with. Like, remember how we opened?
What I'm about to tell you is going to be hard to believe. Again.
And now we end with this.
All right. Again.
Time being a flat circle makes us wonder if free will exists, or if we are just destined to loop back on the preset course of history every time we try to change it. That is going to be the central existential dilemma that Loki faces as he is continuing to grapple with the revelation that Kang has scripted their entire lives. Please subscribe to all 3 channels on the New Rockstars network. You can follow me on all social platforms at Erik Voss. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.